everyone, Leslie Cornwell, Midwifery Business Consultation. This next section I want to talk and get people to think about protecting your assets. Even if you work for someone else and you're thinking, or even you have a property, it's amazing in a high litigation society that people make so many assumptions. Well, I'm covered, I'm safe, my insurance covers it. Do you know your policy well? Do you know your exclusions? Do you know your homeowners and policy, your car insurance, your business insurance, the umbrella over everything, your malpractice insurance? Do you really know your coverage level of protecting and peace of mind? Are you assuming you have coverage for certain things, or have you sat down with your insurance agent and had detailed conversations and said, hypothetically, this happens tomorrow, I get sued by a lady for my private practice, we have an LLC, I don't commingle funds, I do my meeting minutes, I do everything to the state to keep it a legit limited liability company. Are my personal assets at risk? Is my malpractice insurance going to cover me for just going to the board of nursing, going to the board of midwifery? Is my insurance going to protect me just for a lawyer, even though we're not going to court? If I'm considered negligent for something, is it going to creep into my personal? Is there going to be any coverage? There's a lot of exclusions people don't realize, like life insurance. People think, oh, I've got $1 million life insurance policy. If you choose to do a hobby that's negligent, you decide to drink some alcohol and you get in a pool and you drown, typically your family doesn't get that $1 million anymore. So I really want people to understand how to protect your assets, how to protect your family, how to protect the future generations that are going to follow you, and really understand, well, what are your riders? What are your exclusions? What is your real detailed coverage of your policies that you're paying for? Ask those detailed questions. Ask them before you sign up. Ask them in the renewal time. Look at other options in the area and find a coverage that fits your needs. Midwives don't realize, I talk to so many midwives about just the basics of a business entity. Doing a sole proprietor versus an LLC has a huge liability risk difference to you as a person, versus you do sole propriety, you're doing business under your social security number. You have nobody's going to give you malpractice insurance because you have no protection from you. You have no protection from your house, your car, your savings account. Having a limited liability company and having good policies, having good standards of care, having good evidence, having good protocols really helps protect your assets. Not commingling funds, we talked about that briefly, making sure that your business and your personal expenses are separated, making sure you have a lot of your personal things not in your own name. So a trust is a great estate planning, short-term and long-term. Talk to a lawyer to set up an estate planning, set up a power of attorney, set up a will, set up a revocable trust where you can put your house, your car, your savings account, anything you want in your trust's name. You can be the primary manager of your trust, and then if you pass away, it will avoid probate court. It will save a lot of taxes for your family and headache, because now you have designated a new beneficiary of your trust. The trust still owns your assets. You just passed away and now you can't manage the trust anymore. So if you go to court, say there's a bad outcome, you didn't do anything wrong, family goes to a lawyer. Lawyers can look up everything online. They can see how long you've owned your house for. Do you have a mortgage? Is it paid off? They do an analysis to see, are you worth any money or not? And a lot of the lawyers will stop, especially if they're negotiating commission based with that client. I can't help you. I'm not going to sue her, quote unquote, she has no money. I can't. You have your assets protected with a trust. It's pretty powerful. So having good malpractice insurance, understanding the difference between claims modified, after your insurance policy is done, your business is closed, do you still have coverage from your malpractice insurance? There's a lot of states you can get sued for many, many years for practicing, especially in obstetrics, with development of the kids and getting older in school. If anything can be correlated with birth, you still are at risk. So keep your records really well, informed consent, anything you can do to protect yourself while you're practicing, but then also have policies in place, have tools have your life set up so that there's not much in your name. Even if you put it in your partner's name, your husband's name, there's some clauses that'll protect with marriage. I know with like the house and being a primary resident, they can't technically go after that many states, but if you've worked hard and you've created a well-established business and you've got $1 million in the bank account that you're planning to use for retirement, and it's in your name, and you get sued 10 years later for an outcome that the jury decides you owe for the long-term care of that child, it's hard when it's in your own name. It's hard. So that's why there's so many amazing tools out there to protect your assets. Even your business name. Most people don't want their clients knowing their personal address, knowing where they live, know who they are. There's a lot of great tools with talking to lawyers and putting up veils of protection, your LLC and another address versus your home address. And there's a lot of great benefits if you don't have an official business address and you're using your home. So think about your current situation. Think about, how am I protected? What type of business entity do I have? What current insurance plans do I have? Do I have life insurance? Do I have house, car, business insurance, malpractice insurance? Looking in details, what does that coverage look like? What are your riders? What are your exclusions? What are you paying for? And what do you think you're paying for? Those are two very different things sometimes when you dig into it. So I'm empowering birth workers and midwives. I want you to have long-term successful practices. I want you to have a lot less anxiety or sleeping at night, knowing that 20 years from now, your things you've worked so hard for will still be there for you.